go! Vi får se. Idag har vi 2 komikerkollegor som ska gästa podden. Det är 2 tjejer och vi har ju diskuterat, för er som har lyssnat. Vi har ju diskuterat om tjejer är lika roliga som killar. Så nu har vi 2 tjejkomiker och så ska vi ställa frågan till dem för att ta reda på vad de själva tycker och sanningen bakom det argumentet. Eller kallas det argument? Vad fan heter det? Påståendet om tjejer inte kan vara lika roliga som killar. Let's go, vi får se. Is it that cold? Sorry,
you go stand out there for 15 minutes.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
Good to see you.
What kind of power move?
No,
It is.
It's an Epstein move, yeah.
Oh my god, that went so far so fast.
Wow. This pod is about to make your career finally explode.
Bitch!
But it depends on, now people seeing this, they're gonna think I'm that kind of comedian. Like, oh yeah, I'm usually...
But he is that kind of comedian. Like, that's what we're here to discuss today.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yes,
Let's do
yeah.
that.
We were already talking about some subjects that
Really?
we wanted to. Yes.
Oh,
and we
wow.
almost talked too much. You gotta be like, save it for the pod. Save it for the pod.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear. You're from Colorado.
That's true. But we're like, we're kind of babies actually, because we're in the mountains and it's very dry and like Sweden is wet.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Come ladies. Säga svärpodden med mig, Ali Gorgi. Jo, mina kära lyssnare, varmt välkomna till ännu ett avsnitt av Säga svärpodden. Idag har vi med oss komikerkollegor faktiskt, och vi kommer köra det här avsnittet på engelska. Ni kommer förstå varför alldeles strax. Kul att ni är här tillbaka på kanalen. Prenumerera och göra allt det där som ni brukar. Gå in på Spotify, lyssna på avsnittet även där. Så för att inte dra ut på det hela, låt mig välkomna mina feminina, kvinnliga, vad fan heter det? Kan man säga, vad fan heter det? Feminist? Nej. Kvinnliga kollegor. Nej, vänta. Låt mig välkomna mina kollegor med det motsatta könet. Hallå tjejer.
Hallå!
Alloy!
Hello. Catherine and Happy.
Yes.
How are you, ladies?
Doing good. What's up, bro?
Nice, I'm doing fine.
Interesting. You know what? Let's just jump
No,
right in there.
wait. We need to recap
what
everything that happened before.
Oh, okay.
I said one thing that I want to say again to my dear listeners.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you're American, right?
Yes, correct.
That's not so funny. It's normal, just a country. But the funny thing is, we're in Sweden right now. And all of us in here, we are more or less Swedish, as Swedish as I can be, but whatever. And we're majority, but only
Everyone
when
speaks Swedish.
one American comes into a room, then the whole language changes from what we usually do to American, That's how you conquer.
Let me just tell you how good that feels.
Yeah?
No,
Like,
I'm just kidding.
Don't lie. It feels good.
Nej, det är pinsamt. It's so embarrassing. Like, I've been in a room of like 20 people at a party who are like, all of a sudden, like, everyone speaks Swedish. And then they go, oh, vad kul. Let's all practice our English.
Yeah.
But if it were anybody else, any other country, any other language, never.
Dude, that English, Swedish or English you made with the Swedish accent.
The Swinglish.
That sounded like Happy when she spoke English.
Yeah, no, I suck. I will leave you behind.
Don't. Oh my God,
no,
you sound amazing.
Yeah.
I just feel
love
like when I get
imitating
my opinions, when I get like I have to say something now, I would just throw you overboard. Då är det fan svenska som gäller.
Då är det
alltså.
svenska. That's correct. But Catherine, how long you been living in Sweden,
It's been 10 years.
Wow.
Det är så pinsamt att säga det.
You're like the typical immigrant, that comes here and don't learn the language.
Nej, fy fan. Vi kan svenska.
Yeah, you sound like my mother when she tries to speak Swedish as well.
Jag har inte provat svenska. Jag pratar svenska.
But the funny thing is, like, when Americans don't speak Swedish, it's fine, It's like, oh, don't worry about it. Yeah,
I know. No, but it bothers me. Okay, so i covid 2020, jag tar en svenska kurs för 6 månader eller någonting. Och det var universitetet. Så jag studerade, grammatik, uttal, allting.
Nice.
Men nu det är så svårt att prata svenska med varann. Jag vet inte vad. So like half the time I'm just like speaking English just because also that's how I've built my not career. Is that what
yeah, about that, ladies.
The show? Yeah.
So finally that you're here, I have 2 options for you. We spoke about it before, right? So you've been working, doing stand-up, late nights, dirty clubs, good clubs,
so
right?
dirty,
up and down. But now that you're on the Säga Sverige podcast, so this is your chance to break through, finally. Yes, finally. It's a chance. Yeah, you're right on point, the career. Catherine, actually. Yeah, there you go. Did you get that on camera? No.
Everyone's like so unimpressed with my boobs. Like every time.
Who says that?
Sad.
Who says that?
My dad. And like
What?
I'm kidding. I'm just fucking kidding.
Are you really kidding?
No. But yeah, okay, so option 1.
Yeah. Option 1,
yeah.
Option 1 is that you keep grinding those late nights, dirty clubs, you know? Or you finally break through and you go to the fancy clubs. You know, you've done them sometimes, but being regular on the fancy clubs. But for that, you know, you gotta pay due, you know? Yeah. Can you say that? Yeah, so I brought some lubricant.
What flavor is it?
I told you already, it's raspberry.
I mean, I'm already very aroused.
Yeah, so it's a free country, girls. I mean, you don't have to, but you know,
oh my God,
give to get, right? You gotta give to get.
Happy?
Yeah, I just said, as I said before, I'm so excited to watch you guys going crazy together.
Yeah.
So what would we do then? What would you? But then your career won't happen. But that's fine. I mean, it's
but it's going to be fun to watch you guys try. So.
But this is so I like how this is jumping off here, because I have like really struggled here in terms of like, because I've done Norrebrun, Raw,
Same.
like
I didn't do Raw,
Slipa, like I've done every major show, but now I'm kind of like cancelled from those places.
What?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking business we're doing, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's fucking it's so weird.
I feel like most of the time what's so weird about it is that we're like navigating social situations.
Yes.
Like it's not even just a professional thing, like about are you doing well in your craft? Like are you good enough to be on this stage? It's like, yeah, do you get along with the club owner? Like are you guys friends? Like I think I just said something to the club owner at Raw that rubbed him the wrong way. Like I was texting him and I said, like, because he wasn't booking me for shows anymore. Like he booked me consecutively for 3 seasons, and then all of a sudden he wasn't booking me anymore. And I got really like nervous, so I started sending him new material. Like, hey, I'm not a hack. I'm working on new stuff. Like
videos.
Yeah, I sent him videos, like audio recordings, and then he wasn't responding to me anymore.
Ghosting.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, or just, you know, blowing me off. And then I said something. I'd have to like revisit the text, but I said something like, "Hey, and don't forget, like I'm an amazing MC, and I'm getting a reputation for being one of the best in the country."
Yeah, well, that I can agree with that.
Thank you. But I was just trying to be like cocky when I said that.
No,
like,
that's not cocky.
But then he said, "Oh, so you're the best MC in Sweden." Like I said something really offensive, which is that he is the best MC in Sweden, and no one will be. That is exactly, and you know, I actually, when he texted me that, I used a GIF. I used that Homer Simpson when he's going into the glass.
Oh no!
I was just like, there's no way to respond to this other than a GIF.
Yeah.
And like, so then I completely blew my chances of ever like
but
being in that
sucks.
club
What
again.
a power
Isn't that crazy?
Move. That's a power move, you know.
Like, and we didn't even get in a major disagreement or like anything. It was just like, you know, that club is so popular and so many people want to be there.
It's the biggest.
I mean, he's going to be super happy that you said that, because I used to say that Norrebrun was the biggest because it's the oldest. It's like the most prestigious comedy club.
Is it though? I wouldn't say. I would say it's the most classic stand-up club, but the biggest and most prestigious, I would say it's Raw, because it's fancy Hilton, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. And they also have like a lot of I don't know, current and like pop culture kind of comics as well that are like on TV and stuff a lot. And Norrebrun is more known for like, you know, the older generation of comics, I guess.
Like 1 foot alive, 1 foot in the grave, and he's like, he's the last foot standing. Like, oh guys, I used to be here.
Right. So I don't know. Like sometimes I have very seriously thought about throwing in the towel. And
me too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that's very common.
Why do we keep going? Like,
because we're psychopaths.
Yeah.
We don't realize we're fucking losers. We just keep going, man.
Dude.
Yeah, we just need the smallest kind of like, someone says
validation.
Validations. Just something. We're like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm going places. Like someone just said like, good, got off on your own time. Like,
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
We're like, hey, good joke tonight. And you're like, yes, like, I'm going now.
Yeah, but that was when I started. The reason I just kept going was because I hate losing. And then I had a bad gig and I was like, I will never come back. And I was just like, I have to come back now because I can't just leave this when I'm at my worst.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like stand-up is very addicting.
Yeah.
As well.
It is.
Like,
come on, you get like epic dopamine hits, you know, when it does work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And after you've had a fail, you're like, it's
you get angry, you want to go back again.
Yeah, big time, especially at the same room and like, you know, come back the same night next week and shit and like be like, tonight's my night. Like I will eliminate.
But how do you feel about, like, when you do stand-up, do you really go up on stage feeling like you want to be the best in the whole lineup? Or what do you feel about that? Or do you even think about that?
That's because that's an interesting thing, because when you start you're always like nervous, or like you go through all these kinds of emotions and everything. But for the last like half year now, it's coming back because I've been away for a while. But I felt nothing.
What?
No, I just like I just feel like I didn't feel nervous before, and I was like, it's going to be good because I'm good. Like I was kind of fine with everything, even though I wasn't the best that night.
Oh, that's not so good though.
No. And I wasn't. The thing is, I wasn't cocky at all. It was just like, it's going to be fine. Like I'm going to work this out. It's like it's okay.
Yeah.
And I wasn't nervous or anything. But now it's coming. It feels good to be like a bit more nervous.
Of course.
So you're. Yeah, but it's a weird feeling
that
almost
you don't care
nothing.
as much about
I cared so much. I was just so confident without being cocky. I was just like, I know my stuff.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
I'm going to make people laugh, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, that's so good. How do you feel, Catherine? Do you feel like you want to be the best of the whole night, or do you girls more compare yourself to the girls? Or
that's very interesting. I have to answer that, because when I started, my goal was not to be the worst.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why I started to be like, okay, let's not be the worst girl.
And
I didn't
the
like
same
that.
thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of doing this podcast right now because of a video that of you on another podcast talking about who, like, how women and men have different as funny. And that's a funny thing though, really, because I have been on so many lineups where I'm the only girl, and I want to be the best. I want to be the best of all. Okay. I mean, because at first, it was just be good enough, or like don't suck. And then after you've been working on the same material, or like really working the set so that you know it's really good. Yeah. If I'm the only girl, like I feel like I have so much to prove. And like, well, I mean, if I'm the only girl out of like 12 guys, then I feel a lot of pressure to, because I feel like there is that sometimes also if there's a lot of men on the lineup, there's a lot of men in the audience. So then I feel even more pressure to like kind of make the material work in that room. And like, I think that's what's been a really interesting thing in stand-up, because it takes years to find your footing. Like it takes years to find yourself. And I think for the first 5 years, I was really like, I mean, a lot of comics do this, but I talked a lot about sex. I talked a lot about my relationships with men. And like, I think subconsciously I was kind of designing that material around what men was going to think was funny. Okay. But I didn't consciously think that. I think it was just something that happened after like performing with men a lot, like, you know, performing for men a lot. And now 8 years into stand up, I'm more like, you know, I just want to do me the best that I can. So I've kind of forgotten, because after you've seen like, you know, hundreds of shows, everybody has up and down nights. Like I've seen like my favorite comedians like still bomb sometimes. So like I never feel this pressure to be the best in the room necessarily anymore. And I just want to do the best of my material.
Because we were talking about being booked at the best clubs, even though like maybe you already been there, but then you're not as welcome back. So I think maybe if you keep being the best in the room, like all the time, like no doubt about it, which is really hard because there are some funny motherfuckers out there, funny guys especially. But
I knew you'd fucking say that. No,
we're gonna go back to that. We're gonna go back to that. But
all I have to say is Katrina Solange. So fuck off.
She's epic. But look, she looks like half man though. So it doesn't count. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Okay, so it's this one. It's this one.
how dare you?
No, but she's funny as fuck. She's fun as fuck. But so I think when you're being that good all the time, there's no denying you anymore, you know?
Do you think that though? I mean,
well, I'm starting to think that now, because when I started doing stand-up, I really wanted to be the best every fucking night. That was my goal. Best of all. It doesn't matter who's running up with me. That was my goal. And it felt like back then that I used to achieve it. But when the years have passed and I felt like, okay, that didn't help me, so let's just be nice guy to everyone, you know? And just like don't step on anyone's toes, you know? So make my personality a little smaller outwards, so maybe somebody's uncomfortable with me around, so I just sit quietly and do my set and fuck off. But that hasn't helped either. But what that has done is that compromises my personality, which makes me less funny on stage because I'm not being authentic. So it's harming me more than it's helping me. So now I think maybe I should go back to thinking that I should be the best motherfucker every fucking night. It doesn't, top 3 is not enough. I should be that guy that sticks out, you know?
I think it's important to bring your own personality and what you actually think is funny, because I tried for a while to start to hear like, oh, don't be another girl joking about sex or joking about guys.
Why?
And I don't know, people
so
said
silly.
that to me. And I even couldn't go to some places, some better clubs, because they were like, no, you can't joke about sex.
Yeah, I do feel like judged more.
But everybody jokes about sex.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing, and that's why I had a hard time going there. But I tried for a while, as you said, to compromise who I am and what I'm joking about, and that was the most boring year of stand-up.
Sucks.
Yeah, and now I feel like I have come back to myself, because I also had a time before that when I was trying to prove myself to other comics. It doesn't matter if it was a girl or a boy, it doesn't matter. It's just like, I was just trying to be extreme all the time. It's not even with the jokes, but with
like
my personality.
No,
but also with my personality. Like, oh, I'm cool. I'm so confident. And I am, but not maybe in that way. That's not how I show that I am confident if you say that.
So you were not really authentic then?
Yeah. But I tried, and I think I felt kind of authentic when I did that, but I wasn't. But now when I do stand up, I feel like I found my place. So I think that's the most. Yeah,
exactly. That also goes up and down.
Yeah, so maybe like you don't always have to be the best one in the room, but maybe that's a part of your personality, feeling like it's important to me, or I want to be the best, and then that's a part of your personality.
Yeah, but I think about it more strategically, you know? Yeah. Like what works best, because as we speak, I've also done Norra Brunn, but I'm not booked again, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know why, because both nights went really good.
Yeah.
And Raw, he actually told me, you're not good enough.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like him.
Yeah, it does.
Fucker. Yeah. No, I mean, he's like said horrendous things to people in our industry, and it like, I love that he was the guy that when the code of conduct came out was sitting on a couch on TV Fiera talking about how the smaller clubs needed to learn how to like talk to people better on their.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, I almost flipped a fucking table over. I was so upset. Like, but I just wanted to go back real quick and say that was actually really, that was a really genuine thing you said about like, I didn't know that you felt that way about like adjusting your personality. Because I feel like that constantly. Wow. I feel
that really sucks. We didn't start doing comedy to compromise our personalities. Never. We wanted to be our most funny, most extreme, most outgoing. But then we get into it and we get fucked up, you know?
Yeah, definitely. But I also kind of, just like you said, like how it hinders you, like it doesn't make you better to do that, because I also felt like it was exhausting to do that. You know, it's like I took away so much of my own performance energy worrying about, am I doing this right? Like, should I do it? Like, you know, and just being yourself is good enough to go in and do your thing. And it was, I'm just really grateful that you shared that, because it's tough. And sometimes you're a really confident guy, like, or at least I see you as very confident. So.
Up and down some days,
but I think that's the other thing about stand-up as well. Like, we can want to be the best in the room every night, but I seriously think that confidence is like 90% of the game in stand-up. Like, people talk about, is it the writing or is it the performance? You know, like, which one is it that sells comedy? And I'm like, confidence.
Yeah.
Like, you can write not very good jokes and, like, you can write the same shit that everybody's been writing forever. But if you do it in your style and your confidence, like, it'll sell in a room. Yeah. Like, I don't know if that's a debate here.
But
like
I had a gig like a couple of weeks ago, and I was so tired, and I wasn't in for it at all. So I was just like, okay, just go up and just have a good time.
Yeah.
Don't think so much. Just be yourself and create a good vibe in the room. And that was like a very good. It went very well.
Nice, yeah, nice.
Just
that
because
sounds good.
I didn't have this like, oh, I have to put on this persona because I'm tired.
But I love performing with you, by the way. Like,
Well,
I look
you
forward to
too.
it so much because I feel like you make everyone in the room feel welcome. And
True.
like, but it's like an energy
admit.
thing as well. Like, I don't even think you have to do anything or like say anything in particular. Like, because sometimes when people who aren't comedians listening to this, it's not like you walk into a room and you're like acknowledging every person, looking them into the eyes. I accept you. Like, you are beautiful. Like, it's not, it's just like a thing. It's like a vibe that everybody gives off in a comedy room.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love performing with you too, Ollie.
Thank you, Catherine. The same. You've always greeted me well when I went to your clubs, you know.
Dude, and I love your club here in Solnums.
Thanks,
Is that
thanks.
still going?
No,
here?
up and down. You know, it's been a tough half year. You know,
Dude, it has been tough.
Yeah.
I've got shut out of 2 different venues trying to run a
Wow.
club
Yeah.
because the economy is just
Yeah.
shit.
And it's also
going to
a
get
lot
worse.
Yeah, and it's also a lot of clubs out there, you know.
Oh my God. There's
Right?
over
So
a
many.
dozen now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So-
I've been making a list, by the way, that I'll have to share with you later. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, do you feel like, how long have you been doing stand-up?
6 years now.
6 years?
Yeah,
I
one
mean-
year was COVID, but yeah.
Oh
6 years.
yeah! Oh my God! I never
So does that
minus the
count? I don't
COVID
know.
year.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know
like,
if it
oh
counts.
yeah,
Yeah.
that time when I wasn't doing stand up really.
Yeah, because we were at Mafia at the same time, right? During Corona.
Yeah, beginning of
yeah,
it, right?
Yeah, because that was also because some people don't count, COVID at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like during that time. But if you did stand up during that time period, you learned at the same time so much.
Dude, I
During
did
the COVID period. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. Did you learn so much though?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so because I remember being at Mafia at that one time and people were complaining about the shares and
Mhm.
everything, and
Yeah.
I had to make that work, and maybe sometimes it was a small audience, so there was kind of far apart, like both, I would
Mm.
say, because I didn't go to big band because I was like, there's no people there.
Mhm.
What's the purpose?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
you really learn something
Yeah,
to
very
handle
true.
the situation.
I did 2 things in
Yeah.
COVID. So Jonathan Rollins, another American comedian that lives here, he did an online roast battle.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I
right.
did that
Yeah.
one.
It
yeah.
was like surprisingly fun. And I thought for an online show, it was also surprisingly good because it was just 2 comedians going back and forth, joke
Yeah.
to joke against each other, basically. And what was cool about what John did is that he made these like spreadsheets where you had to answer questions. So it wasn't a roast where like you had to guess or like just go on a visual like of what like people knew things about me, like
Yeah.
I was high school homecoming queen and people gave jokes like, oh yeah, so the exact moment that you peaked or like, this stuff. Yeah. So it was a really, really good
you
roast.
peaked in high school.
I did. Oof, long ago, me
Yeah.
and my little titties.
No, but about running clubs, it's not so easy, man. It's because also, dealing with comedians is not easy. Everybody wants to get paid. Of course, I would love to pay everybody, but some nights, when me running that club, you do the marketing, you do the sales, and you do the social media promotion. And in the end, you try not to get something to yourself, but in the end of the night, you're the guy with the least money out of all of this.
No, for sure.
And people are still not happy with you.
Yeah.
They still complain. And they still say, you pay me little. I'd be like, so what can I do, man?
Yeah.
I'm putting all the work, I'm taking all the risk, I'm organizing, I'm dealing with the restaurant, doing the social media, the booking, and you know how it is. Booking comedians is hard.
Oh, I hate
And you want to have some payoff because of all that work, all that headache, and they're still not happy. So you'd be like, what the fuck, man? So you're getting more money than I'm doing. I'm putting all the work behind it, and you're still angry with me. Like, so how am I gonna build relationships? It's really hard.
That's the other thing about like I got into running a club because I thought
So
that would
hard.
be good for me to like you can invite other club owners and then they'll invite
create.
you and like do
Yes,
that
but no.
kind of no, yeah, I know
yeah.
it's like no, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna work out. But I don't know, like I have a lot of like I think it's great that we have so many comedy clubs open right now, and honestly I'm probably gonna take a step back from club running because I'm just like fuck it, there's
And we
so
didn't
many
start
club
doing
opens and-
stand-up to run clubs.
No,
right?
that's the thing. Like, if you do want to go into club running, then like the way that Raw and Norra Brunn are charging like between 250 and 400 kronor tickets, like That's what you'd have to do to make money, and then still pay people very little in order for you to make a big buck.
Exactly.
But I also feel like the problem is that because the regular person in Stockholm, if you take Stockholm for example, that's the only clubs they know. So
yeah, of course.
Right.
Because I'm planning for my coworkers to go and see stand up, and they were like, "Oh,
Norra
Brunn." And I was like, "I'm doing the booking. We're not going to Norra Brunn because you're missing out on so many good like comics because not everyone is there, and you can go to Big Ben, and sometimes Big Ben suck."
Yeah, of course. You get rookies, you know.
But what the fuck? Sometimes you can go to Norra Brunn and Norra Brunn sucks.
Yes, 100%.
That was what I said as well. Like everyone is talking so good about Norra Brunn, but at the same time, sometimes you can go there and someone had a class and now they're going to perform. Like I don't want to see that. I don't want to pay for that.
No, I've had guests in Skrattfabriken telling me like, we were in Norra Brunn like a month ago. It was not as fun as this, and I didn't know these comedians even existed, you know. And they were so much more fun. I said, of course, they're hungry, man. They want to get somewhere.
Yeah, and we actually have so many good comedians in Stockholm. I think
we do.
We can just pick so many, like for a whole season. We don't have to bring back the same people because we have some who is very good or working very hard.
True.
But I still feel like there's still a really big imbalance, by the way, between
men and women.
Yes.
Of course it is,
But one thing that I just want to be open about, which I know I'm going to regret saying.
We love that.
Looking forward to it.
Bring the juice out, baby.
Woo! I have... Running a club, I have struggled so much to get women to show up.
To your clubs? Yeah, they cancel last minute and shit, right?
Holy fucking shit,
they flake so
man.
hard.
Bro.
These hoes! They need a man. They need a man to tell them when and where to go.
Shut the fuck up, Ali.
Okay,
like,
sorry.
Actually,
right.
that's a conversation. I don't know.
Skoyaba.
I think this was a conversation that you and I had.
Oh, we've
about them having a man tell them where and when to go. Yeah, I think it's a really good idea.
But a man had to tell us to talk about this as well.
Yeah,
no, but for real, because we're talking about like it feels like the way, like is it a difference between men and women?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but when it comes to because that was a rhetorical question because the answer is even in this scenario, I think it is because I think. Maybe it's from us growing up. I don't know if it's a difference or in any way. But it feels like if it's dirty at home.
So girls, let me ask you one thing.
Wait.
Okay.
No. I have things to say.
But I didn't even finish.
No.
Okay.
Wait, no, you finish.
Look, typical American. They just come and take over.
What I mean is because
you're welcome. Okay, you are welcome for blue jeans and burgers.
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
we love you for that. It's so cute. It's like having a hamster. I don't know.
Makes no sense.
No, but we talked. I think it was you and me or someone else that. Why do some people show up and some not? Why are more women?
Flaky.
Yeah, like why is it more women or who do stand up for maybe a year or two and then stop? And I think what we said, if it was you, it could be someone else. It could have been you.
Another blonde,
remember.
you know.
Is that maybe something like that people that maybe men put themselves first in another way could be an answer.
I don't know.
I love that was the nicest way you could have put that. I was going to say that most of the men are incels. No, I'm just kidding. Not incels. I'm sorry. Excuse me. But seriously, like I feel like women are way more attached in their social circles. They have they feel more responsibility in their home. We have body functions that are different, that are difficult to deal with. And I don't know what it is about me that has this drive that's like never going to give up on stand-up because I'm so passionate about it. And
I would be sad, honestly, if you did.
Thanks.
Really.
And I think
appreciate it,
the reason I couldn't have a good answer
is
I
wouldn't really care. I'm just saying that.
No. But I don't know, because I remember just talking to someone about that and I couldn't relate so much.
Yeah.
Because I have been the same way. When I was in a relationship and doing stand-up, I was basically just... You have to take it. I might not be home for a couple of nights because I'm not going to slow down because I've seen other people being slowed down when they're in a relationship. And I think that was the core of the conversation. Like, why is it that so many people quit when they...
But let me ask you. Yeah. Let me ask you one thing. So I was MC at Big Ben for a while, like during COVID, after COVID, and a lot of people told me like you don't put women on the set list, and I.
Who the fuck said that?
So let me say my experience how it was.
Thomas.
No, actually not. But let me say from my experience how it looked like. I have like boys showing up every Sunday, which I was emceeing Big Ben, like asking me, taking their time to come to the club and ask me like, hey, can I get a spot? And I say no. And the fourth time I say, okay, man, you can get it. But I have no girl asking me and no girl showing up. They almost expect me to ask them, hey, do you want to get a spot at Big Ben?
Yeah.
But I have already 4 guys standing in line waiting, and me as a person, I want to reward hard work, because I find that hard work, that you come up, show up, you don't know if you get a spot, but you still ask, you're taking your time, your energy. I reward that. But girls don't do that. And then they say, oh, he don't book ladies as comedians. So I felt like to get a spot at Big Ben, I didn't see the same effort from women as I saw from men. But I don't know.
And that's what I'm so sucky at explaining.
Yeah,
it's exactly that. Like, what is it? Because I think I can relate in some terms. Like, sometimes I sit at home waiting for Raw to call me, being like,
I know, right?
Yeah, or something else, a place where I want to go. But like, at the same time, I would never give up stand up.
No. Of course.
Not for my in a way, not for my social life. Sometimes I said to my friends, like, if you want to hang out, you have to come to Big Ben, because I want to go to Big Ben.
Oh my God, are my friends tired of saying that shit? They're like, can we hang out not at a stand-up club? And I was like, not this week, bitch. Like,
wow.
And especially during Corona, we lost a lot of people.
We lost a lot of people. Yeah.
We lost
dying. They did. They all died.
No, but we lost so many comics, especially females, but also some guys.
Yeah, we did.
And it's very like when I started doing stand-up, we were a couple of girls who started kind of during the same time. I'm the only one left.
Wow.
I know what you mean. But I did a little social experiment these past few months where I started a comedy club called Foxy Comedy, where it was just for LGBTQ plus and women. And when I opened that, I like couldn't believe the response. It was insane. Like, if we think there's too few women in stand-up comedy, how many gay men? Like, how many lesbians? Like, how many, like, also people of color? Hey, that's its own category as well, that I feel like Sweden is super uneven. Like, this is supposed to be the feminist mecca. This is supposed to be one of the gay safe havens of the world, and we have like literally less than 10 LGBTQ plus comedians in the entire fucking country. But so when I opened that club, people started coming in droves. Like, I had so many people messaging me, I want to get on the lineup, I want to learn how to do stand-up. And then I started really questioning what was going on, because I was like, have you heard of Big Ben? Like, what's your experience? Like, what do you know? They'd been to Riva, they'd been to this place, they'd been to that place, and they're like, I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable going up.
Well, I understand them. I'm not even comfortable at Big Ben, and I'm not gay or whatever.
Yeah, but
I'm just a normal dude.
But do you think that I started to think that after a while, because a lot of jokes have the word bug in them, like people use the word gay.
I use them sometimes too,
And like, do you think that if you're like a gay person, LGBTQ plus person sitting in the audience, I mean, and you hear comic after comic after comic after comic using that terminology, like, do you feel like, I just can see it that then if you went up, then you're already a joke in a bad way without having even opened your mouth. Like, people have already made up their mind about you even before you confess your sexuality, or like even if you have to confess your sexuality. And that's the other thing, is like most of the comedians who went up often talked about their sexuality, their relationships, and their backgrounds. Like any comic would really, but it seemed like a special emphasis on it because it's like untalked about in a weird way.
But
so
I would say
just such an interesting
I would say if you're too sensitive just by hearing jokes about your sexual what do you say, your sexual orientation, thank you for helping a brother out. Then I think stand-up may be not the right thing, you know, because as stand-up comedian you have to stand with uncomfortable. It's not comfortable.
I was just gonna say, like, I've sat through a lot of jokes that made me really upset, but then not
so we can't joke about anything anymore.
I think you can joke about everything.
I love it when people say that. Bitch, this is the thing about racism, misogyny, and homophobia.
I love those jokes. That's my favorite kind of jokes.
Girl,
those are the funniest.
I'm not trying to say that I don't like those jokes.
You used the wrong pronoun, bitch.
Girl, no, bitch, honey, sweetie. Like, I love me a good off the cuff, you know. But we've heard so many of these jokes since the beginning of time.
Yeah,
like
of
I'm for like the past 100 years, like if I have to hear the Jewish, my grandfather died in the war off the guard tower, like, you know, like it's like, if you're gonna be racist, like update your racism. Like, you know, if you're gonna be misogynistic, like update your misogyny. Like, you know, get in touch with the culture, because that's what makes me like fired up. Is I'm like, do you really think this shit still works? Like maybe it's not even about the context. It's like just that I'm bored. Like,
but
or
you are bored as a comedian. But what about the crowd? Are they bored as well?
That's a good question. Sometimes they are definitely not.
So it might be a good joke, but not for you. Because I see some comedians that I don't find funny at all. I'd be like, what the fuck was fun with that? You know? But the people like it. The crowd likes it. And I'd be like, okay, so the market it decides, you know?
Oh, but but that's the thing. Sometimes you can hear a joke that isn't flying at all. Yeah. But the comedian keeps on doing it.
Maybe they want to work something out.
Yeah, maybe, and I respect that, and I think that's why I agree with you. If you're going to be in the stand-up business, you have to just sit through some jokes that may be painful to listen to because they suck, or sometimes because you feel like, oh, that was a sensitive spot for me. But I think for me, the hardest part was it was the social part. Yeah, it is. Not because the social part was hard for me, but I'm hanging up with only dudes. That's my crowd. Yeah, my closest friends. Oh, and okay. Like in the stand-up business. Oh, yeah. Your colleagues, colleagues. Yeah. But not private. I found my crowd. Yeah. And then they could be talking or joking about women in a way that was totally fine, but I didn't feel like I was a part of it. Or they could ask me like, do you like it up your butt? Like I was like I was the part of the joke, or not the part, or I was not the part of the conversation. And that was the times I felt like, well, this sucks. Because I would love to talk about this. I would love to joke about this with you, but you have to include me in that. I feel the same. I feel excluded so many times, you know. And also we have these cliques of groups in stand-up, and they are the cool guys.
So cliquey.
Yeah, they are the cool guys. And then you're trying to be in, but you're not really. And they be like, fuck this, I don't have the energy to, you know.
I know that's one thing I don't think anybody's ever really talked about, is how fucking cliquey our industry is.
But I talk about it. Listen, I don't know, girls, if you know anything about this podcast, but
never even heard of it until today.
What the fuck?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just skoyaba.
No, now I'm gonna mute you. As I said earlier, I mean, you know, Americans, they are the way they are. But in this podcast, we turn things around. So you as an American have to ask for permission next time you talk, because yes, that's how it works. Not yet, Catherine.
This is my time to shine.
Yeah, let's go, happy. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding. You're welcome. You're welcome, honey.
Please, may I have some more?
No, but we're honest in this podcast, and we burn bridges because fuck it, you know, we're human beings.
That's how I'm starting
and
to feel
we're real
a little.
people. Yeah. And we need to speak, and we need to be honest, you know. And people listening, they maybe don't know about the stand-up business and how hard and depressing and fucked up it might be, but we keep going for some weird reason, right?
Yeah.
In the hopes of making it one day. And I have to say that I've seen you, and I admit that you are one of the fucking best MCs out there.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Anytime I've seen you, it's been fire. Honestly, you take good care of the crowd.
I really appreciate that.
But why do you feel that you don't get booked as much as you deserve?
That's a good question.
What do you think? Because we all rationalize, you know, stuff.
I have my theory, which is that I think I'm obsessed with social media at the moment. I'm really getting this feeling like, I mean, I have gotten gigs now at other places, but you gotta have like a really large social media following in order for them to feel like, oh, you have people that are going to come buy tickets to this show, or people are going to come see you at this show. And I don't know how much that actually correlates. Like, I know a lot of podcasters, for example, who have a podcast that's different than stand-up comedy. Like, it's like in another genre of, and they think, oh, well, they're really popular, so we should get them on.
Yeah, and they do stand-up, right?
Yeah, and they do stand-up, but like their crowd aren't stand-up fans.
No,
and
but they like them anyway.
Yeah, and they, but like, so they don't necessarily sell tickets in the way that they would want. I feel like there's maybe 5 comedians in the whole country that have an enormous social media following that gets people to the shows. It's like Carl Stanley, like Johanna Nordstrom, and like Torbjörn, and maybe Kirsty, or yeah, but you know what I mean? Like I feel like
Fredrik Andersson.
Fredrik Andersson. Oh my God, that is one dude that I just
people loves. People loves his things.
I've noticed.
Yeah. So your theory is that you need to work on your social media and build that up. Yeah, I think that's legit. Of course.
That makes me even more depressed, to be honest. Like because, I hate social media
because we didn't start doing stand up to be good on social media, right?
Hell no.
Yeah, that's the
Hell no.
But the thing is, maybe we're in the wrong time. Maybe we should be born in the 70s, do stand up in the 80s, the old way, you know. And then it would work, you know. But now it's like it doesn't fucking matter how good you are on stage, and that depresses me as well.
Yeah.
Because what matters more is your social media stuff. But I'm having fun doing the podcast, honestly. I'm meeting great people, you know, talking with nice people, and actually getting to know, you know, you better and stuff. But I have to say, I still meet comedians that hates on me and my podcast and be like,
really?
Yeah, of course. Haven't you heard some bullshit? What? Can you be honest, girls? What bullshit have you heard about me? Because I know there's some bullshit going around. One time I don't think they
want to know this one thing.
Yeah. One time, let me maybe I can say, because I think that I know what you're gonna say. One time I heard one girl said that she asked for a spot, and I asked her to suck my dick. And that hoe, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. She told everyone, you know.
You can't be
I'm just kidding. But that's true. I've heard that. I've heard that. Yeah.
Oh, Ollie, what the hell? Well, did you?
No, of course, man.
I mean, I do that like every week.
I do that with, honestly, I do that with boys though. I'd be like, yes, you want a spot?
Suck my dick.
Yeah. Are you ready to suck some dick? You know?
Ready to suck some clit, bitch?
Like, yeah.
I have a very honest answer to that. Because I think we live in a time where we have this very incel era. And like people talking about stuff in a negative way, like, oh, feminism is bad and women shouldn't work and men are better than the women because I have a penis and everything that you guys say when no one hears you. But also we live in a time where we don't want to talk about the serious issues, and we are very uncomfortable with turning the tables, actually.
We're scared.
So I think when people talk about that, like if you would say, I'm a feminist, I might, as how I am as a person, say, why? Or in what way? Or do you really think that I deserve this? Do you think you deserve that? Because that's how you actually have a conversation that makes the brain actually grow and you get new perspectives. But we're very sensitive with that. And what I heard was that you're not, I don't care if you're a feminist or not, because it doesn't affect me, but negative about women, basically. And I think, I don't know, you can answer this, but I think that's also because you had a conversation about a very sensitive topic.
Yeah, I've had many sensitive topics.
And when you, in these times, when you actually put your finger right on the spot, people get very uncomfortable. And I don't say like, you're our lifesaver, but I think it's very important to talk about that.
True, and that's why I talk about it.
Yeah, but it's also important to like always flip the tables all the time.
Yeah, but you know why I talk about things? Because I say, maybe I have my argument side of point of view, and I say it, and then people get offended with me even mentioning the topic, for example, and they think, oh, how dare you, you know, even talk about this, you know, you're a misogynist, even mentioning this. But please talk back to me and educate me then, you know, instead of just thinking, oh, he's such a misogynist that he could even say like abortion is not good, for example. And then they'd be like, oh, fuck this guy, you know. But instead, please educate me, give me a better argument, so I know, okay, then you know what.
And maybe the person who heard that needs to hear why you think.
Exactly.
Because when it comes, let's take that as an example.
Oh, the abortion.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about, but just take that as an example.
Sure.
I think it's good to be able to have an abortion if you want to.
Yeah.
But if we just stop there and don't talk about the men's point of view, the woman's point of view, and every point of view that we can actually find, then it's not a conversation.
No, then it's a forceful law. Like, you need to think the way I think.
Yeah, but
by force, you know.
But that's the time we're living in. Like, we're living in like super polarizing times. So before we came on this podcast, and like, this is the thing, is that my husband, Swedish husband, he has said some things that have really like pushed my buttons, because I think he's also like
a misogynist. Nice. Yeah, it's my bro, man.
Like honestly, like no, but honestly, like sometimes we get in these conversations where I will say things like that. I'm like, you're such a misogynist.
Yeah. So.
And after, but honestly, I don't know how this is gonna sound, but I've been in therapy a lot these past 2 years, and I feel like in a lot of weird ways I'm using cognitive behavioral therapy to like calm myself down, because I also feel like this polarizing state that we're in teaches us to get really amped up and angry at each other.
Yeah.
And I actually don't think that people are that far on the spectrum. Like I feel like most of us are, you know, somewhere in the middle. Like we might agree or a little disagree, but we're not like so far apart that we can't see each other.
Of course.
So he's been like having I had some conversations with him this week, like leading up to this podcast, to like, just in case we had like a sensitive moment, that I'd remind myself, like, don't take anything personally. Like just talk through things like as they are. And it's something that's made me feel a lot better, because I've realized how hard this has been on me and my family, for example. Like my family in America is torn apart by politics. I mean, as people are having a difficult time just even sitting at the same table anymore.
Wow.
And we're not that kind of family. Like, you know, we've always been able to like sit down, have dinners together, you know, like do family activities. Like we've always been so tight. So now that politics has gotten in the way of this, it feels like, no, I'm not going to let this ruin my family. Like I'm not. And it's such an amazing thing how personal this all became so quickly. Like to me, it feels like overnight. Like maybe it's not. Maybe it took a few years for us to get this way.
I
but
think
it's
after
crazy.
COVID, it became even worse. You know?
Maybe that did it as well.
And just as an example, they made a study that shows that always good when you start a podcast like this. We say, I saw a study shows.
Bitch.
Here comes Google. The fact. But the new generation, like growing up now, like almost 18-year-olds, let's say you have people who are like very left in politics and very right in politics. People are more often like in the same clique here. But if they feel like, okay, we both want to stop global warming, but two people think that they should do it in two different ways, it's more problems. They go further aside than the person.
The opposite.
Yeah. And that's dangerous, because we see the same problem, or we want to reach the same goal, but in different ways.
Dude.
And that's where we have to have a conversation.
Yeah. Dude. That's silly. But I would say that's two silly people, and they deserve to be fucked up.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because we let people do that in school and everywhere. Because you will never educate your brain if you don't like have these kind of conversations. So even if I want to have that conversation with you and you're like, no, you're just stupid. You're the one who's going to lose on it.
Of course. And that's why I get mad when I ask, like you mentioned before that I put my finger on sensitive spots. And just by me doing that, people get mad. But please talk to me about it instead of being mad, you know? Because you being mad about me mentioning, maybe, example again, abortion is not good, and you freak out, that's not going to help me.
And it's not going to help me either.
Exactly.
Because we live in a world where we have to understand people, even if we want it or not.
Exactly. But what we do nowadays is that I hear your suggestion or argument, and then I'll be like, oh fuck, I can't be around this guy, you know, and run away, and then speak to my people that thinks the same way I do and speak shit about you, you know,
and
instead of meeting you and arguing with you. I don't know why.
And that's why it's so easy to become like an incel. It doesn't have to be guys either. Like incel, you always think about guys. It can be like everything.
Yeah.
But girls can't be incels, so.
I don't know. I mean, one thing that I do agree with you on is that I think because of this like polarizing thing that I've noticed that like, there's like female cliques that like, you know, is there a word for like hating men?
Man
like,
hate.
Man hate.
Yeah, but there's misogyny and there's a word for the opposite.
We gotta Google that shit because I gotta know what that is.
Yeah,
but
misogyny or something.
I don't like
missionary.
that shit. Like missionary bitch, it would be fucking missionary.
Yeah, that's the way when women hate a man, she just does the missionary. Then you know she's a man hater. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, shit, I'm man hating every day.
Oh wow! One more time.
But like, I think you hit it on the head though, because I like look at Sverige Demokraterna.
Yes.
There are more shootings here per capita than anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
That's a huge fucking problem.
Yes, it is.
And I do not agree at all with Sverige Demokraterna, but they're the only ones that are like, yep, we got to talk about the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't recognize during like the last
Misandry.
Misandry.
Yeah.
That is my
like
rap
a very
name.
sassy name.
No, yeah, that is my rap name from now on.
School.
You can call me Miss Andre, okay? That is that's my name from
so
now
misogyny and misandry is the opposite. It's when women hate men and are misandries.
Oh my god, I learned something.
Yeah.
And you didn't even have to mansplain me. Like, I love that.
I just,
you.
Google it. Google explained us.
Miss Andre.
It sounds like a black grandmother. Miss Andre.
Maybe that's how I said it. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm going to get double canceled. Like, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
I have black friends.
Yeah, well, then you can say it. It's fine.
Say it again. Say it again. That's good for your career. Just go for it.
No, but like, yeah.
So Happy, did you have anything that you heard about this or me about the podcast?
God, I don't remember, but just
That's
something
good,
about being something about
incel.
feminism. Yeah, somewhere in this area.
Should we tell him?
Tell me, please.
Well, there's a group, a secret.
Oh
group.
no, I felt there's something. Yeah, I felt
after.
something.
Well, I don't know. Because women have, and I'm sure that you could have too, or like men have also experienced this, but don't talk about it in the same context. Like, I do feel like men in the stand-up community have been sexually harassed, have been abused, but no one talks about it.
Well, I have. Yeah, I have.
You have?
Yeah, I've been, how do you say, when I was younger, by an old dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ollie, I'm so sorry.
Well, it happens. Shit happens. What can you do?
See, this is men right here. Like, well, what am I gonna do? You know, it's like, like women are like, I need to go to therapy.
But I
men
think
are like,
it's more normal than people think. Honestly.
I know, but that's the thing. But after like,
especially in the Middle East, man, they fuck goats over there. Of course, they wanna fuck me.
What the fuck? I had nothing to do with that. Uncancel me.
No, well, I'm from Middle East. I can say that. No,
nice. Yeah, I know, and I'm from America. I can say that.
Well, I think they fuck goats in America too, to be honest. But
my cousins definitely do. But I think
hey, we should invent a new word.
I know my forehead is
2 cousins, 1 goat.
What? Once at a time, ladies.
You gotta take that, put that into a bit.
No, but I don't think that makes a person hate woman or anything like that.
No, but wait. What I was gonna tell you though is just that, women have had a really difficult time gauging, because like I've had incidences now going to gigs that are out of town, or like traveling with people, like just really not okay, uncomfortable situations, and like we've tried to do things about it. Like we've I've told that person like straight up to their face, like, hey, you did something to me that wasn't okay. And a lot of times that can hurt our chances of getting booked somewhere with them again, or like then it makes us feel uncomfortable when we're doing comedy. Like we are having a really difficult time figuring out what to do about it, because comedy is also like the most unstructured place in like terms of theater and all that. I mean, they have industries and unions and stuff, and we're just kind of out here.
No one got your back.
No.
Nobody, and that's why we created these groups, so that we could tell each other when incidences happen, and that we would notify each other, hey, watch your back when you're with this person. And that really sucks that it goes down like that.
How many times have I been on that list?
A few.
A few?
Yeah.
More than once?
I mean, there was a particular incident, and I don't even remember what
with
it was.
Who? Kirsty. I know I had one with her.
Shit. I don't remember that coming up. Yeah,
I
I was
saw
like,
her
no,
in
but
The things you're talking about now, I can't remember this.
I can't.
Well, I saw her in a black alley once.
But that was. But we've also brought up many different people in that group.
Yeah,
so
that's the
it's
thing.
like,
It's so many
so
people.
all of us been there. All of the bros,
actually,
man.
I mean, when I say so many, I'd say that there's like a dozen people that cause problems over and over again. So,
but
like,
we're comedians. We are problematic,
Yeah,
it's
but
part of us.
No, this is different. There's like a difference between being like problematic,
So I
in
can
like
admit
your personality's weird, or
yeah.
like problematic,
Touchy
like
weird, maybe.
not just that, but like how club owners treat us as well, or like how people
That's
treat
club
you
owners. They're
because
the
they
way
can really break your psyche. You know, they can really make you feel worthless.
Of course,
and
but
like
I gotta
shit.
admit, I've flirted with 2 comedians. One took it good and was happy, and the other one, I don't think she took it.
It was happy?
No.
Sorry.
No, but she was kind of happy. She was, oh, nice, thank you, you know. Just
she said thank you.
Yeah, she was like, oh, nice, thank you, and smiled, you know. And I was like, okay, so I think that's it, you know. We're not gonna go further, and respect. And I still see this comedian every now and then, and it's always nice to see her. And I told her, oh, you're so beautiful, you know. That was when I started doing stand-up, because I was like, you know, I didn't know how shit works. And I'm a flirty guy, or I used to be more even than now I'm a grown-up man, you know, so I can't flirt around.
Do you know that's what's weird is that I've also had to check myself, because I didn't realize, like, if I said like, hey, how are you, and like I touch someone's arm, that's like a sexual invite to a dude.
Oh,
like,
she
if I'm
likes
just like,
me.
Hi, my husband was like, you can't like touch men.
No, exactly.
And that,
but
it's probably more in Sweden that it's like
in America, you know what, you definitely a cultural thing. I think you're right.
Miami, and it's like everybody's more touchy, and
I almost feel like people in Miami would even kiss you on the cheek. Like it's more like, hey, how are you?
Say hi to somebody.
Yeah, like it's a different cultural.
It's more Latinos there, you know, South America.
Maybe.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, but and then I had the other one. It was actually with Kirsty. I flirted with her as well, because I thought she was a cool girl, and we had fun once or twice. We spoke, and then I think we matched on Tinder also. And then I was like, okay, man. Green light,
fascinated by this. I'm like, Kirsty, let's check in on that Tinder. Like,
that was a long time ago, but I think she deleted me after I flirted. So let's be honest. And but she was actually mad at me because I flirted with her, and she said that's unprofessional. Yeah. And then I thought about it. I said, well, you know what? Yeah, it is unprofessional, but I thought we're colleagues, and I've heard people meet at work, you know, and you can flirt with colleagues, but of course it's not gonna work all the time. But a rejection is a rejection, and you take it on the cheek and you move on, you know, normal. But I'm not gonna be mad if you say sorry, you know.
Lots of comedians have dated in our community as well. It's like not even unusual. So like I feel like that is a weird social thing to navigate as well. Like should you be professional, or like if you know another person single, you're single, like you have similar interests.
So she actually made on a stand-up group a post, or I made some post hating. I usually do that. I hate on the whole community, like fuck you all.
I saw that. I know. I was like, Ali, calm down, man. Like,
but I push buttons, you know. And even though I'm like the, let's say, cannon food or whatever, because I know people feel the way I do, but nobody speaks. So I speak, I stir things up, and then I fuck off, you know.
Yeah.
And in the end, I be the one that people hate.
Toxic, bro.
Toxic? Yeah, toxic king, man. Fucking toxic king.
100. Oh my god.
No, but somebody has to do the dirty work, I feel like, and I don't fucking care, you know.
I wish I felt that way about myself. Like someone's got to do the dirty work, like me talking all this shit. I mean,
I think that's like a problem in Sweden in general, is that we don't have each other's backs.
No, we don't. Yeah.
And especially not in like in this business, we have a hard time having each other's backs.
Yeah,
as we said
I
before.
get people texting me on the DMs like, "Oh my god, I love what you did," you know, but they don't show
that's
shit.
And that's very common. I think that's just a problem.
It's fucking
overall.
cowards.
Yeah, and but I think the best case scenario would be like, not that everyone got each other's backs, but in a way, like, it doesn't matter if something we do with clubs or if it's sexual harassment or how do we behave, we have to have each other's backs.
Yeah.
But we can only have our own. Maybe like with our friends, but it's like it's no backup. And
it's a lonely
it is a lonely,
and that's why you can't like solve these issues.
No, you can't really.
And
and the people with power have power.
Yeah, and we gotta
I don't know, man. Like one day I'm gonna either get a grant from the Swedish Arts Council, or I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna start a union and I'm gonna get people to pay their dues.
But they tried already. They didn't work, you know.
Was that an attempt at a union, or was that
it was just an attempt to bring up the conversation, you know.
Oh my god.
Oh, I remember. It was about some prize, you know, the comedian of the year or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? It just sounds like you booked your friends, you know, the best friends. Because
I remember this.
The fuck is this, you know, and who's in the audience saying shit, you know. And another time was one comedian slapped another, two men. One slapped another. And I was like, so if they want to fight, let them fucking fight. Why do you care, you know?
I also heard about that incident.
I said maybe because we men, sometimes we tend to fight, and after we became better friends, and fuck it. So if these guys want to fight, why do you care? But okay, so these guys, they fought inside of Big Ben, kind of.
That's the issue.
That's the issue. Yeah. And it wasn't even a fight. Some dude slapped another and the other took it. So come on, chill the fuck out.
No.
You were there?
No.
So shut the fuck up.
But I know that it wasn't just that. It was about like the integrity of the material.
Yes. And also like copying my style.
Yes. And I feel like that's, you know, part of why that all wasn't okay, because it's like, fuck off. Like, you don't own Like, it's like if I've heard people come up to me and be like, did you know that she's doing another Britney Spears impersonation? Like, as if I owned.
Exactly.
Yeah, like as if I owned, like, the Britney, even though I do get really mad. But, no, but you know what I mean? Like, but I think that the whole.
Like, if somebody imitated Trump and then.
Yeah,
you'd be mad at anybody else doing that. Come on.
I mean, sometimes I think jokes are so specifically written that you can't get around it, but most of the time it's like, you know, you don't own the concept of that. But I don't know. Like, I still think that's why the stand-up community feels like the wild, wild west.
It is,
like, like, I don't want to go to a stand-up club and watch two bros, like, duke it out. Like, no, I'm at work, you know? I'm like, but come on, maybe other people aren't, but I am, you know?
But would you get uncomfortable if maybe me and some other dude fought? Like, maybe we had an argument and you're doing your gig, whatever.
I'm betting on you, Ali.
Yeah, you're getting your money. The money's worth.
I mean, you know, to be honest, like, I don't want to sound like that, but yeah, I mean, it would bother me. Like, it would, well, but only because we're there to, like, literally laugh and have a good time with each other. So if people are like physically fighting, but also I grew up with, my brother was a boxer for years. Like, you know, my family's into guns, like, and I'm just the most non-violent, like, actually, that's not true. I had to, like, stop myself. I was like, wait a second. Like, but I don't know. I think it just doesn't feel like a work environment or like a friendly environment kind of thing. And I don't want people to feel so fucking threatened that because also if for example, some guy like did something to me or like touched me or made me feel uncomfortable, like would the correct reaction to be to slap him or like punch him in the face or like, you know, I mean, or maybe I was gonna say maybe, but like it doesn't feel like that's gonna help solve the situation really.
I've been thinking about that so much just because I've been so mad so many times. Not maybe when I'm doing stand-up but with people in the industry and stuff, like what would I do in this situation, that situation, and I always come back to, let's say we're at Big Ben and I confront someone on stage or on this after I've been doing my shit and everything. I could not confront someone the way I would like to because I have the respect of the people around me and the people who actually came there. And I just don't think it's yeah, sure, men had testosterone and you want to be hegemonic and everything, you have that kind of issue.
Man, good vocab. I didn't even know what that meant. I was
someone
like,
is educated.
I was like,
I did my last essay on masculinity, so that's why.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Wait.
And what? So can you now tell us why men are so great?
Yes, Happy. Tell us. How is that?
I can't answer that question.
So worth nothing then? What the fuck?
No, you guys are awesome. I think you're very. I think I actually talked about that with another colleague.
Yeah.
Just I think we lost so many great men because we totally lost to talk about masculinity and only talked about like femininity and women for such a long, and which is great because we have a very good standard of life in Sweden today, actually. But people still are still getting raped or men are still like getting killed. I'm just doing different examples because we didn't talk about the men. We didn't talk about masculinity because when women are going up now, we don't actually need a man. You're actually just something. If we want a man, we can get a man. Yeah. But what about you guys? How are you going to what it's
tougher, you know? It's tougher and tougher.
And I don't feel sorry for men in that kind of way, but at the same time I do because we didn't talk about you guys at all for a very long time and now you're behind us.
You know why I feel sorry for men? Because let's go back 30 years in Sweden, and in education men used to be like performing better than women. So then the government sat down, had meetings or whatever they did to come with a solution on why women are left behind, and then they changed the education system kind of, and now women are exceeding and we see that men starting to suck more and more each year, perform worse and worse. The only thing they perform well in is like idrott och hälsa, like health class, you know. And that's the only thing men perform well in schools.
Really?
But what they say is not that, oh, this is a problem. We need to maybe look at the education system. What they instead do is that they say, oh, there's something wrong with masculinity.
Right.
So they never said there's something wrong with woman or femininity. They say there's something wrong with the system here. But when it comes to men, they don't look at the system. They just look at the men themselves and say, hey, it's your wrong. You're the guy that's wrong. And we grow up, we don't know what the fuck is wrong, and we feel like, what is there something wrong with me? And we can't figure it out. Some people do really get left out, and that's the incels. And actually, most of the time, it's them doing all the crazy crimes, you know, like going to schools and slicing teachers. They have no friends, they have no partners, nothing.
Yeah,
they have no context.
Exactly. And Jordan Peterson actually says that the danger is not strong men. Strong men, they are strong. They're capable of doing horrible things, but they control it. That's a great man. Strong, but control his strength, you know. But the weak man is dangerous because you don't know what he's capable of doing when shit hits the fan for him, you know.
He's got like nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And when I did my you don't call it essay, like the last,
is it a dissertation?
Essay.
Like the last shit I did to show that I have learned something. And I was using this, it's called like the hegemonic masculinity pyramid.
So what does that mean? Can you explain?
It's hegemonic masculinity is like the best kind of masculinity you can be, like, and you get all the power, you have everything, you know, and that's in different contexts. For example, if you go to a very specific university, for example, maybe it's very important that you have money or knowledge or are good dressed, and you don't, but being big and have muscles is not maybe so important in this situation. But if you're, let's say, in prison, it's very important to be big and strong and have some other kind of
tight butthole.
I knew you were gonna go
so
there.
Just talk about
it's
that.
important.
Like
of course. If it's loose, it's dangerous.
Very simple. It's different context, but also like you can be very high and very low. But the thing is, when they created this pyramid, they also always think that the man is always over the woman, always have more power. But of course, when you go lower down in the pyramid, they might not have that over other men or women. But they always think that the hegemonic man is always on top. But when I did my research and everything, the man is also very complex. And since it is in different situations, different situations, basically. So what if you are a very small man? Or women you don't attract women that much. What happens with your masculinity? Is that the important part? And for today, for the modern woman, it's not that important in some ways. That depends, because we also acquire, like, you being kind of a nice person. Maybe you went to university as well. I earn a lot of money, so I would like to have someone who earn a lot of money as well. But this is also between men. So the relationship between men is also important. If you talk about, it's so important to be big and strong, and I'm stronger than you, or I have all these sexual partners and you don't have that, or I have a relationship with my father who could show me some kind of a good example. So I feel sorry for men in that way, because you are more complex than just having power.
That is so true.
I have a question. Do you think, is it correlated with like testosterone levels dropping more and more with the years?
Has that actually happened?
Yes,
like
it has.
But how do we even explain that? Like, what is the testosterone levels are just like
way
dropping?
of life, like how we live nowadays. We don't have to do much, you know.
You don't got it.
Video
so
games.
maybe if you like went out and hunted and like killed some shit.
How I understand it, you know.
I would say more that it depends on the fact that we don't talk about men in the same way, and we haven't. I think that's more important, because if you look at testosterone, like on a line, the normal curve is like this. And this is a lot of testosterone. Most people are somewhere in the middle. Sure, it kind of dropped a little bit, but it can still be like in the normal scale of having testosterone. So it doesn't mean that you're all the way down here or up here. It's somewhere in between. You just go one to the side, and it's still fine.
I don't know if it's accurate or not.
Because the people with the most testosterone, maybe being more aggressive, is still a very small part of men who is that. So it really doesn't matter. It's more like, do you feel comfortable being yourself? Do you feel comfortable with your sexuality? Do you feel comfortable with what you can bring to the table? And it's the same, because we don't need you anymore. You're just we can have you in our life if we want to. And if we don't want to, we don't need you.
You know, I think throughout history, only 40% of men that ever existed reproduced.
What?
Yeah.
Like, so like just a small amount of dudes, so like fucking all the women.
And also, to be honest, men, like, why are we so many, you know? Because the world doesn't need that many men. one man can impregnate 20 women, you know. That's it. So the guys on top, they're the guys having the best time because they have the money, the resources, and they can chill. But the rest of us down the bottom trying to get spots at Big Ben or whatever.
It's kind of like the survival of the fittest kind of thing.
It is,
in a way.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and I also heard one thing that is, I like the thought of that, because we always talk about men being like the gods and the women serving the men. But at the same time, we are the one, I don't say this is the truth, but just like we are the one picking. In one way, we have a lot of the power as well.
You have even more power, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah.
In many ways. I wouldn't say that it works like in the society we have today, but basically we have it not like, I think we have it pretty good when it comes to that, because we don't have to struggle in that kind of way.
That's why I said there's no woman incels. A woman can't be an incel.
I don't know. I mean, this is what... so Trevor Noah said something like in one of those in-between shows on the Daily Show, where he was talking about intimacy, and that men associate intimacy with sex. Women associate intimacy with lots of things, like because we can hug each other, we can hold hands, we can confess our feelings and cry in front of each other in a way that's intimacy, you know. And like men don't necessarily have those relationships with each other between their friends. Like, can you guys hug? Like, can you guys cry in front of each other? Like, can you... And that's where I feel the most sorry for men. And that's something that actually like really brought down my anger a lot, because I was like, dude, that sounds really lonely and like really hard, because then you have to keep everything that you're struggling with inside. And all of those, like in the incel conversation, like those are just like super lonely people that got shut out of the world somehow.
And also kind of gave up.
Yeah, and also gave up. I think that's a really good point. And I found that conversation really interesting. And I don't want there to be a loss of masculinity. Like, I actually really enjoy and find masculinity, like, amazing and, like, sexy and powerful. Like, I don't want it to go anywhere. I just don't want it to dominate me.
Yeah, and
like, does that mean, like, can we have masculinity without dominating me? Like, is that cool? Like,
I really think so. It's the same thing, like, in one way, you know, some classical things that will have like a man opening a door for a woman. Can you do that because you actually care about me as a person, not because you think that I can't open a door? Like that kind of stuff.
But why would you even think that? Oh, does he think I can't open a door? Like, we can't even be romantic anymore. What the fuck?
That because that's our generation of
so
being
that's
a feminist.
Fucked up.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for you. Like, many people in your generation grew up with, for example, fathers who did... I love, you know, boys don't cry kind of stuff. So at the same time that you had boys don't cry, you had to stand up for yourself, and you don't need a man. If a man opens the door for you, he's not being romantic. He's
the fuck?
But that's what I mean, because I enjoy if someone opens the door for me, because it means you think about me. But if a man would treat me like I couldn't treat myself or take care of myself, that would be another kind of question. For example, are you defending me because you care about me, or do you defend me because you don't think I can defend myself? And
maybe both.
Yeah, and I think for some perspective it sounds like, oh, that's very hard to like understand. What am I supposed to do? But at the same time, I don't know if you feel that way, but I can feel that way pretty quickly when I meet maybe a new man on a date or whatever. I feel kind of quickly like, is this person treating me as a human or treating me as like maybe a weaker woman in some kind of way? I think it's kind of easy.
Just enjoy, no?
Yeah,
the fuck?
No, but sometimes you can't enjoy it. Though.
Why?
Yeah.
If he pays,
where does the line go though?
And that's
from
the
being
hard
nice
thing.
and from being rude.
It's person to person, isn't
it?
Like,
and this is the fucked up thing with like our generation, because we learned it both ways. We learned to like, in one way, we learned to not enjoy that kind of stuff. Or be careful with some kind of stuff. I think.
I mean, I grew up in single mother households, so I feel like especially in the 90s and early 2000s, there's also like a very like pop culture push to like all the women who are independent, throw your hands, and
Beyonce and everybody.
But yes. But I'm just saying, and my mom, like, I love that. My mom was like, that Beyonce, she's amazing. But I think what's interesting now is that I feel like now the line is super blurred between like something that's a physical action and something that's You know what I mean? Like, you know, women making their own money doesn't have anything to do with, well, I guess it does. Like, women supporting themselves financially and someone opening a door feels like two different things.
Yeah.
But they're still, like, in the same world of like, the misogyny discussion. And I don't, like, I can't really sort this
so it's
out.
hard,
So sad.
it's hard to
Studied it.
explain where the line is, because we had so many lines that had changed for such a long time, and now it's not a line, it's just blurry. And I think that's hard, but I think it's so important that we start to have that conversation together. For example, if you and I were on a date, I actually feel comfortable saying some stuff to you, like, why did you do that? Or, like, in one way maybe help you, and the same way you do the same for me. It feels like we are, you talked about
polarization.
It's kind of the same way between men and women, at the same time as we're talking so much about bringing us together in one way. Like, just because you're a man, you don't have to be so masculine. You can be very feminine if you want to, but at the same time we're bringing them apart because of this, not because of you being able to be feminine, just that we have lost our way in a way.
Yeah, we have. And it's kind of becoming a gender war, you know? Instead of we loving each other.
So close.
Yeah, it was beautiful, you know? Romantic stories and everything. And now we'd be like, no, you're not better than me. Oh, no, you're not better than me. But fuck off, you know? Come on, we're supposed to love each other.
But I think Happy and I are also, like, I think one of the ways that we've also survived in stand-up comedy so long is
by sucking so many dicks. No,
you have no idea how bad I am at sucking dick. Like,
really?
I slap it away.
Oh,
like,
I'm just kidding.
No,
sorry,
listen,
sorry.
So little enthusiasm. I'm like, slap
I'm
it
like,
away.
go step aside. I take
does
over.
your husband?
I take over.
Does your husband
Happy
say
and I
suck it as you like it?
Yeah, no, I just go straight for the balls and I bite him.
Oh shit!
No,
oh shit! One more time.
That's the Catherine LaRose sound.
Yeah,
effect.
it is. Yeah.
But like, I really do think that you and I have survived so long in stand-up because we are used to and enjoy being friends with men.
Yeah.
I have a lot of male friends, and I have always found that normal since I was a kid. Like, and I even remember my mom saying to me at one point, I think you need some more girlfriends. And I think I am bisexual. So I think at the time she like saw me like going in and out of like tomboy phases and like, you know, finding attraction to girls, and like maybe that was a little scary and she didn't want me to be like that. So she would like, but now I do see the importance of having both male and female friends. Just like we were talking about, like different energies, different situations, like different points of view. It's healthy.
I feel like even a night of stand-up with only men in the lineup is not as nice, you know? It's not as funny. It's not as loving, you know? It's
I mean, I think it's also about like, you know, the content that people are coming out with. Like, I think if you listen to men that are also in the same age group, because
also
now
boring,
like if everybody's in the same background, like the same age group, the same sex, it's like
boring. But I think there's maybe call it a conspiracy behind all of this, but I think there's some powerful people in the background making sure to implement that divide and conquer strategy. So it's been going that far that the bringing all the immigrants to Sweden is part of the divide and conquer. They want to have division between, because Sweden was a, pretty safe country and homogenic or whatever it's called. And then it's about color, it's about race, it's about religion. Now it's even becoming between the genders. So the more divide and conquer that we have in society, the easier it will become for those people up top to move things behind the curtains, So I think I think really that there are something like that happening, and we're too busy to understand, and we're too busy fighting each other,
Yeah, but sorry.
No, it's fine. Maybe this is just a very stupid way of living, but when it comes to that stuff, like if people are that powerful, I don't know if we could ever conquer that or like rebel against that. I don't know. Yeah,
we could, but you know what? They are afraid of us uniting, but because that's the only way we could win against it.
Yeah, because I feel like
Bugs Life.
Have
you all seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
You need to watch Bugs Life. It's
when it comes to men and women and Bugs Life, the girls' asses, the ants.
Yeah, I haven't
that's fucking tight.
We were too broke to have.
Insane, man.
Yeah, no, but I just. because I thought about that as well.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just shut the fuck up and just like have a conversation about stuff and just have a good time?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like someone because you actually try to have a conversation and hang out with them, don't hang out with them. But you can't blame the gender or the race or the religion or anything behind that. But that's what we have learned to do like after a long time.
But look, I'm sorry. I also got to say, like, it's not a conspiracy theory. That's actually how it is.
Yeah.
Because that's how it's been since the beginning of fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, people, the higher powers have, like, or not the higher powers, like, the people that are in power always have a plan and what they tell the people.
Yeah.
That's how it's always been. Like, it's not even a secret. I mean, that's why when leaks come out of the American government, that's such a big fucking deal, because then we go, oh.
Yes.
So we knew the whole time that we were doing this.
But you kept it secret and you said, oh, it's because of this reason.
And it almost always is about money, because money buys power.
Of course.
And
dude, I saw an interview today, which I actually liked. It was some British journalist interviewing the president of Azerbaijan. And she was like, because they have a conflict in Azerbaijan with Armenians, a border conflict, whatever, two different group of people, ethnics, right? And she was asking him, like, you have a Armenian minority here that don't have freedom of press. So how can you say that you're running a democracy? And then he told her, like, listen, you're speaking about freedom of press. You had, what's his name? Assange, William Assange or whatever his name. Julian Assange, right? You had Julian Assange leaking some information about the government in America, and now he is in prison. How is that freedom of press? So you don't have freedom of press, and now you asking me.
He's not dead, by the way.
Yeah,
that's
he's been in prison. And
that's America's favorite thing to do is pow pow. Take him out.
And
we kill
even
anybody.
Sweden. Even Sweden. You know, Olof Palme. He was. You know, nobody knows how he went away. Come on,
it was me,
impossible.
man.
yeah.
But it's the same with everything. It's like with the gasoline.
Gasoline?
Do you say that? Benzene?
Yeah.
Gasoline. It's the same thing with that. It's like,
I just was like, wait, what do you mean? Like,
yeah, you did hear about the guy
Nord Stream or
the guy who invented cars running on water.
No, the fuck?
What
I've seen that.
fuck?
I've seen that. I can't put it up. Wait.
Yeah.
What?
I cannot
Running on
wait.
water? Dude,
I love it when I learn
even
things
heard.
on
Do you want to hear?
podcasts.
You want to hear a surprise?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Randomly, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he actually told people, like, if I'm gonna die, it's
Someone. Wow.
Because of course they want
Yeah.
to also
Yeah.
keep using gasoline.
Dude, there's one other thing. The guy who invented the Cash
I think it's
App.
hydrogen. It's hydrogen though.
Hydrogen.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
water and wait.
Dude,
Yeah.
the guy who invented the Cash App in America, you know, the American Swish, basically, he got murdered a night in San Francisco, and one day after, the government of the USA
Took it.
they launched their own version of the Cash App, and he just died the night before. What the fuck?
Honestly, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and the other thing what I wanted to say was there were electronic, you know, the Voi that we have,
Yeah.
electronic kick bikes or whatever, in the beginning of the 19th century. But
What?
yeah, they were.
And they just turned that shit off.
Yeah,
they
because
were
it
like,
was
no.
useless because
Right.
people had cars and they preferred cars and whatever.
Huh.
Yeah, they
And
just
now-
love us when we are on our smartphones, when we're watching our social
Yes.
media,
Oh
when
my
we do
God,
all that.
it's so depressing, dude.
Yeah,
We're
it's very-
comedians. We should
but-
have fun.
Yeah, but still
But
have
we
to
do.
say, like,
I mean, I
because
love.
this is why you have to talk. This is why you have to, like, because we're so stuck in this way of living, and it's
Yeah.
the worst way of living. Even though, because if people just start talking more and more about this, if people like educate each other, younger people, like just having this conversation, us three, even though no one would watch this, I think they would.
No one will.
Well, no one
I'm just
will.
kidding.
I have my supporters. What? Don't fucking.
Then we just start
would love
a
this.
rolling, like a snowball effect, and
My,
that's
actually,
the important part.
my supporters or people watching this channel, they love these kind of topics. You know,
Oh,
they
good.
love it. Yeah, they
Good.
love
That's
it.
great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
bring it
also
on.
now I forgot what I was gonna say.
sorry,
Like,
I
my little brain
silenced
just
you.
like went. No. I don't even remember. But it was.
So,
something
are you
about-
gonna bring up something, Mr. Producer?
Oh right.
Oh, you wanna see the
You had it
water
on?
fueled car?
Yeah,
thing?
let's
Alright,
watch that
wait.
thing because I think we should also summarize
Wikipedia.
thing.
Wait.
Oh, it's Wikipedia. Dude, good luck
That's
reading
all.
that.
I wanted the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. I
Water fueled car.
Well,
Wait,
you're
wait,
looking
wait.
for that. I just
Wait.
wanted to say though, like, the past like 2-3 years in stand up, I have worked so hard to talk about things that I think are important to me and use facts in my stand-up. Like I released a stand-up bit about weed in Sweden, and like weirdly I do think that's an important issue. I feel like if we legalize weed, cocaine, and maybe not even legalize but decriminalize so that you could take some money away from the gangs, like I do think that would like legitimately help. But in the joke, I like researched a topic about how Sweden knows how much drugs we're doing, and I tried to deliver like the statistic, what year it was. Like, I mean, I'm trying to deliver something on stage that is a funny joke, like about me being the only one who's smoking all the weed in Sweden, because we know that we're not. But like, I feel like I'm on that path and on that drive right now to like, I want to talk about things. Like, I feel like it's important that we talk about masculinity, that we talk about drugs, that we talk about politics. And it's an even weirder thing, like when you try to get into the hierarchy of stand-up, then people start judging you a little bit on your content. So it's funny. Like that's why I'm like, oh, did you not enjoy my facts tonight? I'm trying to be that bougie about my stand-up at this point.
But I think it's a good bit you're working on, and I'm with you on that. People judge you so hard. You know, I feel judged by having this podcast. You know, by comedians, and some hate it, and some like I don't know. It's just a weird.
I'm kind of surprised, like that, to hear that. Like I didn't realize it was like that, and I don't want it to be like that.
No,
for
me
you.
neither. But I feel like I don't know if it's only in my brain or if it's true. But okay, a lot of times they say what you think becomes reality, right? But I think that a lot of people don't like me in the stand-up business.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why. But let's watch this one.
Oh, you want to watch it?
Yeah. Water-fueled car.
Yeah.
So working on the sound.
That is honestly the goddamn truth. Seriously,
what?
Anytime we're about to make some social change, anytime we're about to do some major economic haul, we like shoot people
like
down.
Secretly
it's our favorite.
dies of like heart attack or whatever random shit.
Or they were assassinated.
Yeah,
like, it's like
suicide.
I wonder who did that. Like I wonder who shot that guy. Like yeah exactly.
So weird.
But I just want you to know.
Yeah.
Like, yes, your name has gotten brought up in some social contexts.
That's good.
But, I mean, I think we agreed, like, at least in this group a little bit, that you're not a dangerous person and that you're well-meaning.
Well, as long as you don't open the freezer, it should be fine.
If you don't open my freezers, well, shit, I got men for what?
Yeah.
But no, I just like want you to know that. Like, I think you are a really genuine, well-meaning person. And that's why I wanted to come on this podcast is because like, I know that sometimes on other podcasts, like maybe not even your own, that sometimes people are just like trying like to poke the bear a little bit or like see what happens. And I don't know, like I had a really amazing time on this podcast. I had so much fun and I thought the conversation was amazing.
Me too.
So
actually,
I'm really grateful. And
yeah, me too. And I'm so happy that you wanted to come here, you know, and be part of this podcast because we're in the same business and I love speaking to my fellow comedians, you know.
Yeah, I just feel like I would love to come back.
Yeah, I would love to have you back. We should drink one time.
Hell yeah.
Yes, right? Yeah, we should fucking drink like in like a pre-party.
Yeah, no, but because I feel the same way. I think it's easy to judge. I think I've seen some video that you put up. Yeah. And I didn't think that much about it, more that it was out of context, basically.
Yeah, well, we're comedians. I push buttons, you know, I fuck around, and of course I
and like, make no mistake that I do think that there are dangerous people in our community that I think are predators, and I do think that they're so few. They're like a very, very small group of people, but then this has also been like the past few years of me like trying to unwind, like calm down, like, you know, get back to understanding, you know, that a lot of this is not.
Yeah, but because you also try to like defend yourself, because if you go out there, be yourself, and something bad happens, of course you're going to try to like not make sure that happen again.
Right.
Of course.
So of course, like we have this group and be like, heads up this person, or what do we think about this person? Is it bad for us or not to talk to this person, see this person? Yeah. But I think, I remember that now. We were like, yeah, but he's fine.
Yeah. I think the word was harmless, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Harmless? That's not
Yeah.
fine, though.
Yeah,
I would be like dangerous but sexy.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Harmless?
I fucking
What?
knew it. He was like, I'm masculine and
Yeah,
dangerous.
like he's a fucking
And
animal. but in a good
and
way.
we think that
Oh,
a lot. Yeah,
I
so
don't-
dangerous.
Oh, fuck
Actually,
off.
but no, you're right. Like it's like the little skinny, like weird dudes. that-
What? Skinny even? Oh my god.
No, I don't know if they're
You
all
just
skinny,
hit
but
me on
it's
my
just, I don't know,
weakest
man.
spot. Okay, well, girls, listen, it's been
Yeah,
lovely having you, really, Catherine, and happy.
Yeah.
So if people want to follow you, which my followers should, check these ladies out, where do they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Roulette Leroux. Sorry,
Roulette,
that's so
like
hard. Yeah,
Russian
roulette,
roulette,
like
yeah.
Russian roulette Leroux.
With an X, Leroux. Well, I can, I can add.
Please.
Yeah.
I know I made that way too complicated, and
No, it's
also
nice,
my
man.
name sucks. Kathryn. No one ever spells that shit
Catherine.
right.
No, it's
My
fine.
dad thought he was so down adding that Y.
And happy? Where do they find you?
I think Instagram is the best, and it's happy, like glad,
Yeah.
happy, Hagman, with 2 N at the end.
Great.
Because I cock block myself on Instagram, so I can't have just 1 N, so I
Oh,
have to have
no.
2.
But you also, do you run a club,
Yeah.
Happy? You used to? I don't know about now.
Yeah, well, I'm involved with a club called West Side Comedy
Great.
in Vällingby, Stockholm.
Nice.
And then I have my own podcast with... you
Yeah,
were on
sorry,
that.
I got
yeah.
so excited because I was on it
Yeah.
as well. Harry Podden. I love Harry Podden.
Podden. So
Harry
it's a,
Podden, okay.
so it's a comedic Harry
So
Podden
guys, don't listen to that podcast, but do whatever else you want to do.
We're not that badass, but it's fun.
It's
That's good, yeah.
hilarious. It's
Great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And Catherine, your club?
Actually, you know what? I run Foxy Comedy Club. So follow Foxy Comedy Club on Instagram and on Facebook. We're going to have a writing session to invite new comedians out in Alby on the 16th of May. So just in like 2 weeks, if you're interested in stand-up, if you want to try, it doesn't matter if you're a woman, LGBTQ+, man, woman, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you want to do stand-up, come May 16th and check out Foxy Comedy to find out the details.
That's awesome. And I would love to have you back one time, and we should like pre-party or whatever,
Sounds good.
and then do a set somewhere.
Yes.
Would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Bring
Yeah.
the lubricant.
Yeah, I forgot about it. The conversation was so giving, you know?
I just want the licorice. I want licorice lube.
Yeah. And guys, till alla mina lyssnare, jag hoppas ni har lyssnat på det här, eller gillat det här avsnittet, och stort tack till er allihop. Ni betyder så fucking mycket, och hjälp till kanalen så jag kan fortsätta lyfta upp min community, stand-up-communityn, och fortsätta leverera bra content till er. Så prenumerera på YouTube om ni inte redan har gjort det. Gå in på Instagram, följ mig där @aligehimself. Jag lägger upp massa Insta-stories som är relevanta till podden och ämnen och debatter och så vidare. Och tills nästa gång så får jag önska er en massa kärlek. Ta hand om er. Puss på er. Säga svärpodden med mig, Ali Gorgi.